The broadcast of the regular meeting of the Board of Estimate and Taxation will now begin.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this live broadcast of our virtual meeting. This meeting includes the remote participation of members as authorized under Minnesota statutes, section 13D.021, declared due to the declared local health pandemic. For the record, my name is David Wheeler, and I'm president of the Board of Estimate and Taxation. I will now call this meeting to order and ask that the clerk call the roll so that we may verify the presence of a quorum.
Born-Befry. French. Fletcher.
Here.
Thank you. Bender.
Here.
Vice President Becker.
Here.
President Wheeler.
Here.
There are 5 members present.
Let the record reflect that we have a quorum, and we will now proceed to our agenda, a copy of which was posted for public access at the city's legislative information management system, which is available at lims.minneapolismin.gov. Board members, the agenda for today's meeting is before us. May I please have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a proper motion before us. Is there any discussion before the clerk calls the roll? Seeing none, I ask that the clerk call the roll on the motion.
Born-Befrench. Born-Befrench. Fletcher.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Vice President Becker.
Aye.
Born-Befrench. There are 4 ayes.
Well, President Wheeler would have said yes too, so. Okay, the motion passes and the agenda is adopted. So now we have acceptance of the minutes from the December 9th and the December 13th meeting. May I please have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We have a proper motion before us. Is there any discussion before the clerk calls the roll? With that, seeing none, I ask the clerk to call the roll on the motion.
Born-Befrench.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Vice President Becker.
Aye.
President Wheeler.
Aye.
There are 5 ayes.
The motion passes and the minutes are accepted as presented. Before I go any further, I want to say a special thank you today to Mike Ablin. Mike has provided outstanding service to the city and has worked closely with the Board of Estimate and Taxation in the whole debt piece and bonding, and he's really done a superb job. He has an energy and a spirit and a warmth that is really outstanding. And I think any of you have had the opportunity to work with Mike will know of what I speak. He has been a fine public servant. I hold him in high regard and esteem, and the Board of Estimate and Taxation, and I expect all of us wish him all the best as he moves into this next adventure in his life. Mike, if you want to say a word or two, you're welcome to do that at this time.
Well, thank you very much, David. I appreciate those words, and it's been my pleasure to serve the city, for sure. That's really all I have to say. Thank you very much, and good luck for the city's finances in the future and elections this upcoming fall, and that's about it. Thank you.
You've left us in a good place. Thank you so much. Oh, Ms. Becker would like to say a word too. Please, Carol.
Mike, I remember you, I don't know, how many years ago was it? Probably almost 30 years ago, worked with you. And you were just a stellar performer and helped the city navigate so many things for so many years. It is a huge loss that you are leaving. I think it's great that you're going to go and do something that you really want to do in the future. But I just want to thank you for all that time, all those issues, that many days, showing up all those times. You have been a huge asset to the city. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Carol.
And the rest of you can offer your kudos in any way that you seem appropriate in the future too. Thanks so much. All the best. Okay, number 4 on our agenda is the compensation study, for the citywide directly elected Board of Estimate and Taxation members. This item includes a proposed resolution setting a 2022 compensation level for the 2 elected board members. If we have a motion, then we can, in a second, we can have a discussion. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion has been made. Thank you. Ms. Becker, is there a second to the motion?
Mr. Chair, can we clarify the motion is for the resolution that indicates $400 per month as the proposed? I just want to make sure I understand the motion in front of us.
You're exactly right. That's what it means.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Thank you, Steve. So we have a motion before us that's been made and seconded, and now I think it's probably important we take some time and have a conversation about this. We looked at this about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. There was a fair amount of work that our staff person, Mr. Hoppy, did looking into the past and the history and pulled together a bunch of information for us. And then he had a bit of a synopsis that came to us. And it has been 45 years since there was any change in the compensation level for the at-large members. And the proposal that comes before us is a proposal that came out of all of that study and that work. And so I think it's important that we have discussion if the floor is open.
President Wheeler, I see Council Vice President.
I see Lisa Bender's hand is up. Thank you. I do
Yes.
thank you, Edna. Yes, I'm getting used to the hand up on the side. My mistake.
Thank you. At council, we use the chat function like a queue, so we put our names there. So I always forget to raise my hand. Thank you, and I appreciated the detail in the staff presentation, the report. I did wonder, so I'll just say for context, we are often having discussions at the city side around compensation for folks who are, providing time to the city, whether it be planning commissioners or zoning board of adjustment members or CLIC members, or now increasingly volunteer members of various advisory boards and commissions that the city council and mayor have created, which is of course different than being created in charter. So I just wanted to think about it in that context. And I wondered, so we did raise the compensation for planning commission members, I think in 2017, and I think zoning board of adjustment along with it. And that increase went to $50 per meeting. I served on the planning commission. It is extremely time intensive. The packets are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages long with complex design and legal questions. So I wanted to think through, were any comparisons made to some of those other, I know again, like this is an independent and these are independently elected members, but to those other bodies at the city, like the planning commission, which is also required in charter. And that might be to staff, although I'm not sure.
I think that would be to Mr. Hoppy would be my guess.
Board member Bender and President Wheeler. Yes, in conversations with the clerk's office, we understood that there are throughout the city some other entities that are being compensated, just as mentioned here, in that neighborhood of $35 to $50 or so per meeting. One thing I would point out, and Board Member Bender, you indicated that right away there, is the idea that here we have two elected members and the engagement and responsibilities of a bit different context than that of appointed people to the boards and commissions. So I think there's just a different context that happens with them now. One may have more workload than another. That's true. So we're just kind of dealing with a unique kind of entity here. And we made more of a parallel comparison to council members who, like these two elected, widely elected BET members, do need to go to the entire population to get into their position and represent the whole city in a broad range of areas, not a narrow specific topic. I hope that helps.
Further discussion? Yes, Vice President Becker.
I guess for me, this is an elected position. And I think that first and foremost, the equivalents are not some appointed board with a fairly narrow range of duties, but the other elected officials in the city. And the city council, I think, is up to what, $106,000 now a year. And I understand the park board's looking at adjustments also. If we just took the last time that we got a raise, I think it was 1975, we would be right at, I think I did the math, like $385 a month. So this just puts us back where we were in 1975. And I will say I spend way more at this job than the $50 that I make. So I think that given the other compensation for elected officials in the city, I think that this is pretty fair.
Vice President Becker, it's actually $35 a meeting for the Board of Estimate and Taxation. I remember when I was first elected, having spent $5,000 to run citywide to get elected the first time. People asked me, so, well, why are you running? I said, that's because at $35 a meeting, it'll only take me about 18 years to pay off this first campaign. Anyway, bit of a joke. Any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Yes, Ms. Bender. Yeah, I saw the hand go up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I will be voting no today, and I understand the work that's gone in, and so I just kind of always try to explain it's a gentle no vote here. I just think in the context of the other discussions we're having around compensation for folks on these bodies that do take up an enormous amount of time, it just doesn't feel fair. But I also understand the counter argument. And again, my comments are not for persuasion purposes, but for explanation purposes.
Thank you. Further discussion. Back to Vice President Becker.
Having taken those votes, Ms. Bender, where it's about your personal feelings, I totally appreciate that, and thank you for being honest about it.
Have we any further discussion? If there is no further discussion at this point, I would ask the clerk to call the roll.
Board Member French. Board Member French.
Pass.
Board Member Fletcher.
Aye.
Board Member Bender,
Nay.
Vice President Becker,
Aye.
President Wheeler.
Aye.
There are 3 ayes and 2 nays.
I didn't say nay. I said pass.
I'm sorry, there are 2 ayes, 2 nays, and 1 abstention.
I didn't.
No.
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
abstain.
I'm sorry. We have Ken, if you're able to explain.
Sure. Yeah,
I-
this
I-
is Ken Daler from the clerk's office. So Board Member French, are you trying to abstain from voting?
No, I passed the first time around, and then I thought she'd come back and ask me again. I was not abstaining. I'd like to vote yes.
Fantastic. So, Ayan, that would be 4 ayes and 1 nay. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect.
Thank you for
Sorry for the
clarifying.
confusion.
There are 4 ayes and 1 nay.
The motion passes and the resolution is adopted. Do we have any announcements that we need to be making at this time? I believe we don't have, I have one. I don't think we've got agenda items for our next meeting, so I don't think we will have to have that next meeting. We can pass on that. Any further pieces that we need to share at this time?
David, what is the date of that next meeting that we won't be having? Or possibly the clerk, could you give us that date that we will not be holding that meeting?
Yes, it would have been on February 10th.
Thank you.
Are there any more announcements? If not, with that, we've concluded all the business that has come before the board, and without objection, we stand adjourned.